Hi, fellow traders. Good morning, and welcome to another weekly SureTrader account update. I'm going to share with you the trades I took this week. Unfortunately, I was only able to actually trade 2 days, and then that was very limited. So, not a whole lot that went on this week. But a couple things I do want to share with you, and also afterwards, we're going to have a trailer into what I've been promising you guys for the last, I guess, month or so is my segments on how to really grow a small account. So we're going to do the trailer for that. Well, not necessarily a trailer, but kind of the intro to it. Some things that you're going to need to think about before you watch the first installment. So just sit back and relax, and we're going to get right to it. Alright, so let's look into my numbers from this week. Very, very sad, but only traded 2 days. And just to, full disclaimer, there's one loss that's missing. It hasn't cleared yet for some reason. But it will be added into this total sometime this week as soon as it goes through. But there's one loss for about $100, so you can subtract $100 from this. And it was a short trade, so that 50% is probably gonna go down to, less than 50%. My overall is probably gonna be around 60, maybe lower. So that just didn't get caught up. Another thing that didn't get caught up, you can see this curve is still going up, but the last date that it was updated was 7/19. So the 20th, the 21st hasn't been updated yet. When this updates, you're going to see a pullback here. So this is kind of giving you the wrong impression. There's another loss that goes in up here. So just want to make you aware of that. But you can see, even not looking at the loss, we can look at this. Just wasn't a good week, and still trying to do shorts when the market's not really conducive to them. I can't get that through my thick skull that the strategies that I trade, the shorts are not working. The market's continuing to push up, and I'm steady trying to short my strategy, and I've got to get that out of my mind. There are a couple that do set up and that are in play, but I've got to be more selective into what I'm doing. The only good thing is, and the reason why I am making some profit, is because my winning trades are about twice as much as my losing trades. So that's good. You can see it's about 2.04 to 1, which is my average win to average loss ratio. So that's right on point. That's the only reason I'm really making money. I did catch a good earnings play after hours. It's something that I've been working on for several months. I'm going to start looking at putting some of these into play. I did talk about this in the chat room, but I was having to switch over to my swing trade class because it was starting at 4, and I kind of told everybody in chat exactly what I was looking at and the stock I was looking at, what I was looking for it to do, but and that I couldn't really go over, be there to trade it live because I had to, switch over. So I did show the results, as soon as I got out of it. The trade was fast. and it was done and over with before I could even switch anything over. But I did show the results in chats. Everybody got to see that. But it's something that I'm going to be looking at doing a little bit more often with some of these retail stocks. And there's a lot of things that have to, that I have to look at that's going to have to, be in place before I take the trade. Because it is, risky, but I like to make sure that everything is where it needs to be. So, I'll be talking more about that, as it progresses. But not that banner of a week. But this month has been really slow. They started the month off on vacation, which was a slow week. Last week was a relatively slow week. Week before last was a relatively slow week. This week, I was kind of out. Didn't really get to take any trades. And it's really been tough getting a groove. And that's when you get into your trading and you get into a groove, you really need to stay in the market. Not necessarily trading every day, but be in the market, getting a feel for it. And when you miss days and when you cut your days short and your routine changes, it takes a while to get back into it. And that's the reality of what I'm dealing with. But the good thing is you guys get to see it firsthand. You get to see my live trading account. You get to see when I win. You get to see when I lose. I'm not telling you after the fact. You're seeing it as it happens. There's no question as to what's going on because you're seeing it. So let's look at the month. Only 1735 this month. This is the last week. I'm not going to try to do 1500 to at least double my account from when I started. I'm not even looking at that. My focus, guys, is on August. I'm looking to really gain some consistency this week, take small size, get back in the groove, and be ready for August. Because, this month is pretty much a wrap. And honestly, didn't expect much, but I expected a little bit more. Just didn't get it. And you can see still this month, the shorts are suffering. I've got just as many losers as I have winners. And, but my average winning trade, the average losing trade is about 1.5 to 1, which is what's keeping me somewhat profitable on, this. $840 is keeping me somewhat profitable. So that's why we focus on making sure we keep our losers half of what our winners are. It's not going to happen all the time. Trades happen, life happens, things don't go perfectly, and that's the nature of the beast. But as long as we can keep these in check, and we can do bad and still make a couple of dollars, and that's what I'm trying to show you guys. So not bad. Not bad at all for considering what I've had to deal with this month anyway. All right, so new swing trading class starting up this first week in August. If you want to get in on it, just go to the website averagejoetrading.com and sign up for it. If you have any questions, always feel free to contact me. We just had an awesome scan and strategy session that we do every Sunday morning to kind of plan for the week and to put some stocks on watch that have potential. Some students have been really nailing it. They've been really knocking it out of the park. So, if day trading is a little bit too fast for you, you don't have the time to really put into day trading that you want to, and you want to supplement that, you want to do some swings in between, this is a class you need to take. It's 100% live. I'm there to answer questions for you as we go through the lessons. And also, this is a reminder to those of you who are already in the course. You do have the ability to send me a message and say, hey, can we talk about this? And we can take some time and talk about it. Share some screens over Skype. This is what you pay for. You pay for my time. And I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again here in a few minutes when we get into the first part of how to really grow your small day trading account, is you can find a lot of fundamental information online. You don't need to pay anybody to learn that. What you're paying for from me is how I do things that are specific and unique to me, and how I put it together in my process. That's what you're paying for. You're paying for my time. And yes, I value my time. If you don't, people that don't value their time, I don't think they're going to get very far. But take advantage of it, because that's what you're paying for. And when you join it, you have that ability. It's all live. You're not watching a videotape unless you want to. The classes are taped. You can watch the tape. If you missed a class, that's fine. But you always have the ability, shoot me a message and say, hey, I don't understand these concepts. Can we get together for about 30 minutes and go through them? That's fine. That's what you get. So just wanted to reiterate that fact. So that's going to do it for my week. I'm looking forward to a pretty strong week to end July. I just want to see some consistency and some smarter trades. I am doing well by managing my losses, but I want to see some smarter, trades on my part. And if I can do that going into August, I'm going to have some momentum, and hopefully I can carry that through. Alright, so as promised, just hang around, stay tuned for the first part of how to really grow a small day trading account. This is something that I want you guys to think about as we move into into the presentations that I'm going to do. This sets the foundation. All right, guys, welcome to how to really grow a small day trading account. It's what I've been promising for the last month or so. And the way this is going to work, going forward, the presentations are going to be done in the Average Joe Trading Classroom for my yearly subscribers. Now, they're going to get this live. They're going to have the ability to ask questions and, participate in what we're doing. I will share the recording on YouTube, as I promised. But if you want to be engaged, and you want to be a part of this live, then you have to join the chat room. This is something that I'm doing for my members, but I am sharing it. So just know that the recordings will be live recordings of the weekly webinar that I'm doing for my yearly subscribers. And the webinars will continue after this. I do one every week for my yearly subscribers. Some are better than others. Some are going to hit home with you more than others. But I'm there every week, unless something happens. I'm there. I'm providing this service because, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here to do. So just to give you a heads up on how this thing is going to work. So why am I doing this? Every day I get a lot of emails from potential traders, even traders that are people that are already trading. They're blinded by the hype of all of these communities posting how they can grow a small account. And there's a lot of them out there. How they can grow it in a short amount of time. The reality is it can be done, but you have to have the skill. And you're not going to take a class for, a couple of weeks and think you're going to come out and do it. It's impossible. You have to be an Iceman. You have to be the type person that can beat the polygraph machine, in order to come out and do that. And even then you don't have, a favorable chance, because you're led to believe that all you need is this education. All you need to do is buy this class, take it, and then you have everything you need to make it. And that's just not true. I can't tell you how many DVDs I watched, how many classes I took, and I was not ready to trade. I couldn't put the pieces of the puzzle together. And until I figured out how to do that, and I think what was fortunate for me was that I was a teacher, and it took me a while to figure out that, hey, this is just like your students. They need me to put these pieces of the puzzle together to give them some clear direction and to demonstrate, what success looks like. That's what I needed. Even though I was a teacher, I needed to figure out how to get that together. So once I did that, I was able to become successful. So I want to share with you guys the truth, my truth. I want to save you from being that negative statistic. I want to save you from losing all your damn money before you even really get going into trading. And that's what happens to too many people. They spend $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 on this turnkey trading program. They take it and they're no closer to being able to take a successful trade than they were when they started. They've got all of this knowledge, all of these pieces of the puzzle, but they can't put it together. And it's crazy. But I hear that every day. I had somebody show me a spreadsheet of where they spent over 27 grand over the last, year to 2 years on trading education, and they haven't had a green week yet. And it hurts to hear stuff like that. So truth number one, your trading success is not going to happen when you want it to. And you have to understand that it is a process. It's going to take time. Trying to find a shortcut or the Holy Grail will quickly lead you to a blown account. And that's the truth. I can't put it any plainer than that. And some of you guys have already experienced this truth. There's a lot of people who they've experienced this, but they don't want to accept it. But the sooner you accept it and the sooner you understand that trading is a process, and that learning how to trade is a process, just like anything we do in life, anything that we learn new, there is a process. So step one in the process, you have to figure out if you truly want to do this. Okay? And I said a 3-step process to do this, but really it's kind of 5 steps. It's not, it's actually not 3 steps. It's kind of like 5 steps. So I'm going to have to change that. Number one, you have to decide that, is this what I want to do? Do I really want to get into this? So you have to figure out what's all involved in this trading deal. And once you do that, do you have the commitment level to see it through? So you have to decide first, make that decision. You have to commit to the decision that you made. And then you have to act on that commitment. Now, a lot of people decide they want to do it, commit to the decision they made, but for some reason they fail to act on it. They may be scared. It may be the fear of failure. They may have let all these negative thoughts come in. You know, they might have let other people influence them who really shouldn't. You know, you can't let other people tell you what to do with your life. So the act part is great. It's imperative that once you decide and you make that commitment, then you act on that commitment. So what do? You look to get educated. You look to learn and understand more about what it is you're getting into. Then you need to seek out a model of success. Okay, you have to seek out a model of success so that you can succeed in your plans. And then once you do that, you have to repeat this process every time you take a big step in what you're doing. Every time you make a decision to do something significant in your career, you have to go through the same process. Commit to it. Act on it. Find somebody that's a model of success that you can learn from. And then repeat the process the next time you do it. It's very important that you understand what this process is and what this process is about. And I'm sharing this with you now so that as we go through the presentations, you can really understand what I mean by process. And the presentations aren't going to be long. They're not going to be drawn out. They're going to be to the point and going through the process that I took in order to get to where I am. All right, step 2 in the process is figuring out if you are the person you need to be right now to ensure your success. And this is one of the first things we do in my Day Traders Mindset Psychology class. You know, it's trying to figure out, do you have the mindset to be successful? You know, you have to know what you're good at, what you're marginal at, and what you suck at. You have to understand these things, because if you don't, there's no way you're going to be able to get to the next level. Because the things that you're good at, you need to figure out how can I maximize this potential. If you're marginal at something, then you need to figure out, well, how can I supplement myself at these things that I'm marginal at? And then if you suck at something, you really need to go and try to find somebody that either doesn't suck to help you through that, or you need to figure out yourself what you can do to help improve you. I suggest getting with somebody who really doesn't suck to help you get through that part. But it's very important. I think Mark Cuban said that one time. You know, he's a very smart guy, and he's very blunt, and he'll tell you how it is. And this is what you have to do. If you're going to be successful in anything, not just trading, you got to look at these 3 things. Another thing is, some of us were not raised in an ideal environment that has prepared us for where we need to be to become successful traders. You know, sometimes we were brought up in an empowering environment where our family encouraged us to think outside of the box, to take chances. And then some of us, And most of us were brought up in a limiting environment. You know, what we were taught. We were taught to stay, follow the status quo. You know, not to think too far outside of the box. Just follow the plan. And we inherently, we get these limitations, and they kill us when we try to do something different. It doesn't have to be with trading. It could be starting your own business or whatever it is. These traits that we bring from our childhood and how we grew up can hurt us. And we have to identify those. We have to think about, you know, was I the type child who took chances, who took risks? Or was I the type person that sat back and watched other people get hurt, figure out what not to do, and then do it? You know, we have to understand what kind of person we are. But the way you do this, and the most consistent way to get results is just to think back and really be honest with yourself. You know, go back to, what are we good at? What are we marginal at? What do we suck at? What are we missing? And then we find a model of success. We find somebody who's doing what we want to do that's successful and that kind of fits who we are. Not everybody is going to, I'm not going to be the trader that everybody wants to be. I'm not. And I understand that. And I'm not trying to convince people otherwise. It's something that you have to do, and you have to understand for yourself. Is this guy the type person I want to be with? Can I connect with this trader? You know, can I feel what he's doing? And once you do that, then you start taking notes. You know, write down what makes him successful. Write down what his process is. Write down he or she. It could be a she, because there's some very successful female traders out there. But whoever you go to, you really want to dissect them and find out what makes them successful. And then you do the same thing. And as you do it, you assimilate these things into your life. And you're not going to, and I promise you, some of the things is not going to be comfortable to you. And you're going to have to find ways to make them comfortable. You're going to have to make that process of success your own, unique. And once you're able to do that, the sky's the limit. You can blow up. And I promise you, this can happen. I've seen it happen over and over and over again. It doesn't have to be in trading, anything in life. But I'm just bringing everything that I've learned through this journey into this. Okay, here's truth number 2. And this is a proven fact. 80% of success is psychology. 20% is strategy. Okay, I've learned this. I learned this in college. I learned this in my teaching psychology classes that I had to take, you know, over and over and over again. Okay, if you do not have the psychology in check, if you don't have the right mindset, you can have access to the strategies, all of the tools, everything. The problem is, without the right mindset, you will never be able to apply everything that you've learned. Never. You have to get your mind in check. And that's why, as part of the day trading class, I have the trading psychology part. Because it's the mindset. That's what helps you execute. If you can't execute, it doesn't matter what you know. It doesn't matter what education you have. You know, if your mind isn't right, you can't execute. You're not going to be able to make money. So here's an example of what I use in my day trading class. You know, my day trader's mindset component. You know, when you get educated, this is how you look. You have all these pieces of the puzzle, but you don't have any clue of where the hell they go. You got your basic education, which you can get online. There's a wealth of free resources. The best one, the one that I like the most, is the one that Investors Underground did. It's a complete basic fundamental trading course. It's completely free. It's on YouTube. It's on their YouTube channel. And I recommend it. I went through the thing. As they put it out, I actually went back. Even though I knew how to trade and I was already successful, I wanted to see what it was about. And I highly recommend that. You know, that's why I wasn't going to make a class and charge people for stuff that you can get on the internet. Doesn't make sense. Why pay people thousands of dollars when you have this free course that will give you all of this fundamental information? So you have your basic education. You've learned trading strategies, or maybe you haven't. Maybe, you know, hopefully this education is going to teach you money management, risk management, what tools you need, you know, what type capital you're going to need to be successful and how you're going to have to manage it. They may give you some basic trading strategies. But the problem is, how do you put all this together? You know, what do you do? And that's when you get focused. That's when you find somebody who can teach you how to focus everything that you have into a process. And that's what I do. Okay, I don't teach basic fundamental stuff. I'm teaching you how to take the education that you have, everything that you learn, focus it on only the parts that matter for what you want to do. Because you're going to learn a whole lot of stuff that you'll never use in trading because it doesn't fit your strategy. But the first thing I do is I get you to understand that you are in the center. And if you're going to start with a small account and you're going to want to grow it, you're going to have to understand that everything revolves around you. Your education, your tools, your money management, you're the center of all of this. And if you're not right, none of this other stuff is going to stick to you. You're never going to be able to put the pieces in the right place. And they're just going to continue to float around until you just disappear and you become a statistic. So that's why I say you have to get you straight. You have to understand who you are, what your limitations are, what your strengths are, and figure out how am I going to get what I need to get to that next level. Then and only then can you start trading. Once you get all of the pieces in the right place, and the glue that holds these pieces, these puzzle pieces together, is that psychology. It's that 80%. It's the mind game. Because if you're not strong and you're not comfortable with who you are as a trader, every time you move, one of these pieces are going to fall off. So you got to be you. You got to make sure that you're the person you need to be, you know, in order to be successful. And that's what I want you guys to think about before we get started this week. Before you look at that first segment, is trying to understand who you are. Trying to figure out what your limitations are. What you suck at. You know, what you're good at. And, you know, what you're okay at. And then we're going to have to find strategies that's going to help you maximize your potential. You know, and it sounds simple, but it's not. And believe me, if everybody was doing this. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. It's not easy. And a lot of people get stuck in that act phase. They have the desire. They're willing to commit to make that desire come about. But when it comes time to act, there's a disconnect. And that disconnect is the psychology. Because they're fighting themselves in their head as to whether do they really want to take this chance. So this week, guys, think about that. Just because when we hit Wednesday, I want you to really understand who you are as a trader. And I think that's going to pay a whole lot of dividends as we go forward. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this part of it. I hope, this gets you on the right track. And just stay tuned for the next segment. So have a great weekend, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning.